Enlightened. So what does it mean from, first of all, let's find out what it means in context. Let's look at the sentence it's in before we do anything else. So what is the sentence that it's in, Jaden? Where is it?
There is nothing enlightening about shrinking, so that other people will won't feel insecure around you.
Okay, so from that sentence, what's your first reaction to what that word means?
About the word or the sentence?
You go. We're figuring out what the word means. You go with however how you. What?
It means being.
Embrace.
Embrace.
It's
Why?
not to be afraid of.
Do what, Courtney?
I think the word means not to be afraid of.
Not to be afraid of. Why? You got two kind of competing words. Tell me why.
There's nothing enlightening about shrinking. Like there's nothing to be scared about shrinking or something like that.
And I say embrace because he's like the sentence is trying to encourage us. It says there's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. So
Okay.
I think he's encouraging.
Come on, the other two. What do you think it means, James?
I think it means when he was in his hard troubles, like in bad days.
Okay. Let me give you one other strategy. One other strategy to use along with what you're doing. Look at the word itself and break down the word. What does the word itself say? What is like the root, the base word of that word, you think?
Can you repeat that one more time?
What is like the core word in there? There's a core word. There's like a root word or core word.
Is it light?
I'm just asking the question. You tell me.
I think it's like
You think it's light?
you break the words apart. So if you put the line between in, light, and you cross out the E and N, you have in, light, and it. We all know what the word in means, right? Like, let me give an example. Like, what word has the word en in the front of it?
Encourage.
Encourage. So, if you were to break encourage apart, you know what encourage means, like to motivate somebody, something like that. So, if in is in front of encourage, that must mean that the word in must mean encourage people? No, courage is just, if you put courage, that's just, let's just break it apart.
Okay, I'll help you out. So I think he's mostly saying, while he was using examples, that light is the most, it's just like, he's trying to show us, like when you break down in and then you take the E-N away, it'll be L. I'm mostly saying it's light.
It's like saying you're putting an S.
No, we're still trying to figure out what it means.
We all know what light means. Yes. Okay. I want to say ED because, if you put, let's see. Provided. If you put the ED, if you took the ED out of provided, you'll have provide, right? So you know what provide means, like to get something or have something. If you put the ED in provided, you'll have provided. And provided, the whole entire word provided means to have a whole lot of stuff, right? Something like that. So lighted, if you take out the en in front of it, lighted means to have I forgot what this is. Might help me out. I forgot what.
Help him out. He said help him out. So
like what you were saying.
Like lighted. Like what does the word lighted mean? No. If you're putting it, I'm gonna give it an easy one. Oh, okay. If you're putting an S at the last of the word, it means more than one thing. So like if you put that means that it's so. If you put that means one thing. If you put an S next to the last word, that means it's gonna be two things.
So go back now that you've really spent some time analyzing. Go back and put it back in the sentence and see if your analyzing helps you with the meaning. So somebody go back and put it in the sentence.
Okay. So do you want us to, can you be more specific? Do you want us to read
Read the sentence, yeah, that's what I mean by.
There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
Okay. So now that you broke down that word into pieces, and it says there's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
There's nothing special about you.
Yes, it is. So I think something special.
Because like it said, there's nothing enlightened about shrinking. So I analyzed it like Mr. Neely said it's great. Like he used to taught us like don't use the basic words. Use the more important words and put it in the sentence. And like
So there's nothing enlightened. It's kind of hard, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, but we're getting there. So there's nothing enlightened. What?
Something weird enlightened though.
What is enlightened? What does enlightened mean?
I don't know. I mean, things search it up for.
Like more something.
More stuff like people giving right. Let me say. I think it's saying for this word. I think people is giving you more stuff than more.
I'm gonna redirect you back just a little bit. What is light? What does light mean?
Light?
What does light mean?
Like the sunlight.
Yeah. What else does it mean?
As light.
What does light do?
Like in
Brightens up the room.
What does it do?
Brightens up the room.
Brightens up stuff. What else?
Like a dark closet.
It does what? Go on.
Like a dark closet. You put light into it. It ain't gonna be dark no more.
Okay. Those are great statements. Now go back to the sentence. Take what go on and Jaden said and go back to the sentence of what does enlightened mean. Go look back at the sentence. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking. What does the word nothing tend to tell you when it comes before that word?
Nothing is.
I think what he's saying is people don't care about that.
That would be in the nothing part, but it's an interesting play on words that it comes before nothing and then it says enlightened. So there's no what? What would be a good way to say that? Nothing, if there's nothing, there's not any what?
People.
And what word is after? What word did we pick out? There's no what? What did we say? There's no enlightening. And we said light did what? Go on. It
Brightens up.
brightens things up, shows you the way.
Like this gold thing and on the road, and it's super dark. You're on the wrong path. basically. Then when the sun come out, you basically go back on the right path.
Okay. That's a good explanation. So how do we put that in the construct of what this word is meaning and what it's saying?
While I was talking, I was thinking about the whole statement. So I'm thinking that the statement is saying don't give up because it's saying there's nothing enlightening. We already said bright, so it wouldn't be like a brighter future or something like that. About shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
Okay, I really love what you said. Go back just a little bit. There's nothing what about giving up? There's nothing, you said bright?
Right.
So
right.
say that another way.
So
Cortland, help her say it another way. You're almost there.
So what you said again?
Say what you said
I
again.
said that there's nothing enlightening about shrinking, and Gohan said that light is bright. So it's mostly saying you're brightening your future. So it's enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. So that's why I made up and said don't give up, because like it said if you give up you're gonna always shrink or get depressed or something like that.
So
And
when it
everyone's
said
gonna
there's
feel
nothing enlightening, what is the author saying? There's nothing what?
bright.
That's
Right about shrinking.
okay, that's pretty good. There's nothing bright about shrinking. There's nothing. Give me some other example. There's nothing instead of bright.
People
Where's some other single words then instead of bright? Think of synonyms of bright. There's nothing what about shrinking? There's nothing.
the people don't like you.
There's nothing encouraging. There's nothing.
People don't like you no more. After
No?
Let me say it.
Okay.
People don't like you what you did over the last 2 years. What the problem?
You got me off,
about it.
Jaden. What?
There's nothing good about it.
No, I'm still focusing on that word enlightened. And she said bright, encourage. So what's some other synonyms, same words, for bright, for encourage, for...
You have any words?
Shine.
Shine,
Glow.
glow. So look at that. Look at all the words you've come up with now. You got bright, encourage, shine, glow. It says there's nothing enlightened about shrinking. So there's nothing bright. There's nothing shining. There's nothing glowing. There's nothing empowering, noticeable. There's no guidance. Do you kind of see that when you put all those words together? In essence, he's saying, in very simplistic terms, there's nothing good. There's nothing good about shrinking so that other people feel insecure around you. The vocabulary, that's not always a challenge with me. Aaron, my comment, I don't know. I question, are we spending too much time? Are we spending not enough time? I mean, granted, what we do in a classroom setting with, we're making them really delve into a vocabulary very deeply, out of their whole day, that's not very long.
Right.
But still, we're only addressing 1 or 2 words when we do that. And so I don't know if the process is more important or the volume is more important.
I always think that, and this is my belief, that one word can trigger the student. It can grasp to understand it once they figure out what that one word is. And I do agree with you. However, that is something that we can debrief and reflect on, but it's like that one word can just throw it all off.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
it's like, if I understood this one word, now I understand the question.
Because they are definitely identifying the words that keep them from getting
Mhm.
something.
Exactly.
Well, one of the things that I saw you doing when I was over there was prompting them to use all these different strategies they could use to get at the word. Cortland. I loved how he was really having a hard time with enlightened, and I
They
don't
all
think
were.
they all were.
really
I don't think
struggled
that he eventually got there.
Right.
No.
But he was trying so hard, and he was like, okay, well, ED, let me see, and he would compare it to other words. If you knew how to ED, you'd compare EN to other words. And then you threw out, well, let's think about the base. The base word is light. What do we know light does? What do we, and so, you prompted them to use a lot of strategies. They talked it through. They kept going at it, which I think you know, process or volume, you have to walk a fine balance, right? Because the more volume they acquire, the more they will be able to comprehend, right? But the process, it's worth spending some time working a process on a word, because then they can apply that process now on their own to other words.
Yeah. And that particular the group that we were talking with, I mean, that group struggles more than the other group. I think you saw that. And so that process may be more important, because other groups you saw, we kind of let them use the dictionary or the glossary.
Yeah.
And that's probably okay, because as soon as they read it, they knew.
Right.
But I don't know, you know, some of the students there, I don't know that it would have done Cortland a lot of good to read the definition per se.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
And you still want those other kids to use those same strategies, but it sounds like those are things they might be more adept at. And so having them, like, you know, you're focusing with that group on refining those skills for them, those strategies around vocabulary, because you know that's not necessarily their strong point. Whereas if other kids have got that, if they've got that tighter, you don't necessarily have to, you know, that doesn't have to be the focus of their particular learning at that time, if your goal is for them to continue to